Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Pulleys ITIL 2011 Operational Support and Analysis Certification course. This is an introductory unit on operational support and analysis. I am Sachin Chinskar and I'll be with you throughout this course. This course consists of 10 learning units, hence it is imperative for you to go through this unit before accessing other 10 learning units. Even before we start with the course, we need to discuss a few things. We need to talk about registered trademarks and copyrights. Term ITIL is a registered trademark of Axelos Limited, and ITIL written in full, that is, IT Infrastructure Library, is also a registered trademark of Axelos Limited. The swirl logo is also a trademark of Axelos Limited. The OGC logo is also a registered trademark of Axelos Limited. In addition to this, all the course material which refers to ITIL diagrams and texts from the ITIL publication is reproduced under the Crown copyright with permission and license from Axelos Limited. Let's begin with objective of this unit, followed by some basic concepts which were discussed during ITIL Foundation training. This will include Introduction to ITIL, Introduction to ITIL Intermediate Level, that is, Service Lifecycle and Service Capability. We will also differentiate between the two intermediate streams. This is followed by OSA course description and its objectives. Next, the target audience as to who can attend and who should attend this course. Thereafter, we will learn about exam eligibility criteria and exam pattern and some useful tips to help you achieve OSA certificate, and then we will look at OSA course outline. Now, in the next slide, we will look at the objective of this learning unit. The objective of this unit is to help you understand the outline of this course. What will be your takeaway from this course? Also make sure you are aware of the topics and subtopics covered in this course. Now let us begin with the introduction of ITIL. ITIL is the most widely used best practice framework for effective IT service management. ITIL recommends processes an organization can adopt and adapt to for better service management. ITIL advocates that IT services must be aligned to the needs of the business and underpin the core business processes. It provides guidance to organizations on how to use IT as a tool to facilitate business change, transformation, and growth. ITIL has evolved tremendously since its inception in late 1980s, keeping pace with the ever-evolving IT fraternity. Organizations today need to continue to meet customers' expectations by following processes which ensure consistency. These consistent repeatable processes are outlined in ITIL. Adopting ITIL can offer users a huge range of benefits that include improved IT services, reduced costs, improved customer satisfaction through a more professional approach to service delivery, improved productivity, improved use of skills and experience, improved delivery of third-party services. Now we will study more about ITIL towards the end of this unit. Now in the next slide, let's look at ITIL Intermediate Level, which is the second level consisting of a range of certifications. ITIL Intermediate is the next level after ITIL Foundation. ITIL Intermediate Level has a modular structure with each module holding a different focus. There are two streams in the intermediate level, the Service Lifecycle stream and the Service Capability stream. Which stream should you choose, or which stream will benefit you the most? Well, that's a call you have to make. Let us quickly look at the difference between two streams. Service Capability. Capability modules focus mainly on improvement and execution of existing processes. These courses cover input, output, activities, matrix, and concepts of each process. The target audience includes practitioners who execute daily activities of IT processes. Service lifecycle. The 5 lifecycle modules are inclined towards strategy and focus on implementing an entire lifecycle stage. In these courses, more emphasis is put on relationship between processes, roles, and responsibilities. The target audiences include IT managers, process owners. In these two streams, you can take as few or as many intermediate certifications as you require to suit your needs. The intermediate module go into more details than the foundation level and are industry recognized certification. All higher level ITIL examinations require a candidate to complete mandatory accredited training before being able to take the examination. In the next slide, we will look at the certification roadmap in achieving ITIL expert status and starting at ITIL foundation qualification and the roadmap credit system. The ITIL qualification scheme provides a modular approach to the ITIL framework and is comprised of a series of qualifications focused on different aspects of ITIL best practice to various degrees of depth and detail. The modular tier structure of the qualification not only offers candidates the flexibility in relating to different disciplines and areas of ITIL, but generally makes ITIL qualification more accessible and achievable. To recognize the candidate investment in ITIL qualifications, credit system has been introduced to support the ITIL scheme. Upon successful completion and passing of a certificate exam, candidates will be awarded credits. The image in this slide is ITIL certification roadmap. This roadmap is based on credit systems. So let us quickly look at what are the number of credits one will be awarded upon successful completion of the certificate. ITIL Foundation is the first certification exam and holds 2 credits. Upon successful completion of ITIL Foundation certificate exam, candidates will be awarded 2 credits and they also become eligible for intermediate level where they can choose the stream of their choice. Lifecycle courses focus mainly upon ITSM implementation. Each lifecycle module exam will fetch 3 credits. Capability course focuses on daily process activities and each certificate exam will fetch 4 credits. A candidate can choose any module from each of the streams or can make a combination based upon their experience in the industry. Upon accumulating 17 credits, a candidate is eligible to appear for ITIL MALC exam, which is Managing Across Life Cycle. This certificate exam will fetch 5 credits, thus making a total of 22 credits. And for a candidate to become an ITIL expert, they should have 22 credits and should also clear ITIL MALC exam. In the next slide, we will look at ITIL Intermediate Service Lifecycle stream. The Service Lifecycle. The 5 lifecycle modules are inclined towards strategy and focus on implementing an entire lifecycle stage. In these courses, more emphasis is put on relationship between processes, roles, and responsibilities. The 5 different lifecycle stages within service lifecycle are Service Strategy, abbreviated as SS, Service Design, SD, Service Transition, ST, Service Operations, SO, and Continual Service Improvement, CSI. Each one addresses capabilities having direct impact on a service provider's performance. The core is expected to provide structure, stability, and strength to the service management capabilities, with durable principles, methods, and tools. This serves to protect investments and provide the necessary basis for measurement, learning, and improvement. In the next slide, we will look at ITIL Intermediate Level Service Capability Stream. Service Capability. Capability modules focus mainly on improvement and execution of existing processes. These courses cover input-output activities, matrix, and concepts of each process. The target audience includes practitioners who execute daily activities of IT processes. There are 4 modules in service capability, which are Operational Support and Analysis, abbreviated as OSA, Release Control and Validation, RCV, Planning Protection and Optimization, PPO, Service Offering and Agreements, SOA. In the next slide, we will look at ITIL MALC, which is Managing Across Life Cycle. The ITIL Managing Across Life Cycle qualification is a capstone qualification which is the final required module that a candidate must take prior to achieving ITIL Expert Certificate. The learning outcomes of MALC module are intended to bring a candidate from ITIL content knowledge to ITIL content application and integration knowledge, and to provide skills that can be used in the workplace in a tangible way. We have already discussed the credit point system for MALC. However, just to mention, ITIL MALC gives you 5 credits. That has been a basic introduction of ITIL. Now let us just focus on ITIL OSA course description and objectives in the next slides. The ITIL Intermediate Qualification Operational Support and Analysis Certificate is a freestanding qualification, but is also part of the ITIL Intermediate Capability stream and one of the modules that leads to the ITIL Expert Certificate in IT Service Management. The purpose of this training module and the associated exam and certificate is to impart, test, and validate the knowledge on industry practices in service management as documented in the ITIL Service Lifecycle core publications. The objective of OSA is discussed in the next slide. The ITIL Certificate in Operational Support and Analysis. The objective of this course is to enable the holders of the certificate to apply OSA practices in resolution and support of the service management life cycle, and specifically in the following key ITIL processes, roles, and functional areas, which are event management, incident management, request fulfillment, problem management, access management, service desk, technical management, IT operations management, and application management. In the next slide, we will look at what is the target audience of this particular course. To be eligible for the examination leading to the ITIL Operational Support and Analysis Certificate, the candidate must fulfill the following criteria. That is, at least 30 contact hours of instruction, excluding breaks with an accredited training organization or an accredited e-learning solution for this syllabus as a part of a formal approved training course or scheme. There is no minimum mandatory requirement, but 2 to 4 years professional experience working in IT service management is highly desirable. The candidate must hold ITIL Foundation Certificate in IT Service Management or ITIL Version 2 Foundation plus the Bridge Certificate exam. It is also recommended that students should complete a minimum of 12 hours of personal study by reviewing the syllabus and the pertinent areas of ITIL Service Management Practice Core Guidance publications, and in particular the Service Operations publication. In the following slides, we will look at the exam pattern and the tips to attain the OSA certificate. It includes, but is not restricted to, individuals who have attained the ITIL Foundation Certificate in Service Management and who wish to advance to higher level ITIL certifications. Also, individuals who require a deep understanding of ITIL certificate in operational support and analysis, processes, and how it may be used to enhance the quality of IT support or IT service support within an organization. Also, IT professionals who are working with an organization and have adopted and adapted ITIL and also need to be informed about and thereafter contribute to an ongoing service improvement program. Operational staff involved in event management process, incident management process, request fulfillment, problem management, access management, service desk, technical management, IT operations management, and applications management. In the next slide, we will look at what is the eligibility criteria for the candidates to take up this particular certification. The pattern of this exam is 8 multiple choice scenario based questions. Each question will have 4 possible options, one of which is 5 marks, one of the 4 is 3 marks, another one is of 1 mark, and one of them is a distractor which will fetch no marks. Duration of this exam is 90 minutes, which is 1 hour 30 minutes. In order to be eligible to take up this exam, the candidate must have an ITL Foundation certificate or ITL V2 certificate and 1 bridge exam. This will be a closed book exam, and the candidate needs to score 28 on 40, which is 70%, to achieve this certificate. Next slide is the exam tip. In this slide are some exam tips. Please go through them and implement them. Next is the agenda of this entire module. Now let me give you an overview of all the learning units in this course. Whatever we did so far was the introduction unit. Now let us quickly look at the agenda of this entire course. Unit 2 is Introduction to OSA. This learning unit of the module provides an introduction to the core concepts and terminology of the service life cycle and the role that OSA activities play within the life cycle. It also helps understand how OSA creates business value and how optimization of operational service performance takes place. Unit 3 is Event Management. This learning unit covers how the process of event management contributes to OSA practices. A complete overview of the objectives, scope, and importance of event management as a process to generate business value are explored. Event management policies, principles, concepts, design activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA practices as well as to information management. Efficient use of event management matrix are also reviewed in this particular unit. Next is Incident Management. This learning unit covers how the process of incident management contributes to OSA practices. A complete overview of the objectives, scope, and importance of incident management as a process to generate business value are explored. Incident management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA practices. Unit 5 is the Request Fulfillment Process. This unit covers request fulfillment process and how it contributes to OSA. A complete overview of the objective, scope, and importance of request fulfillment process and how it generates value to the business is explored. Request fulfillment's policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, request models, and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA practices as well as to information management. Efficient use of request fulfillment metrics are also reviewed in this particular unit. Unit 6 is Problem Management. This unit covers how the problem management process contributes to OSA practices. A complete overview of objectives, scope, and importance of the problem management as a process to generate business value are explored. Problem management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, problem models, problem analysis techniques, and error detection in development environments and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA practices as well as to information management. Efficient use of problem management matrix are also reviewed in this particular unit. Unit 7 is Access Management. This unit covers how access management process contributes to OSA. A complete overview of objective, scope, and importance of access management as a process to generate business value are explored. Access management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, access management model, and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA practices as well as to information management. How access management interfaces with other lifecycle stages and processes is also discussed in this particular module. Unit 8 is the service desk. This learning unit covers the service desk function and how it contributes to OSA. A complete overview of the objectives, scope, and importance of the service desk as a function to generate business value are explored. Service desk policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relationship to OSA. Also covered in this service desk role, organizational structures, staffing options, and outsourcing strategies. Efficient use of service desk matrix is reviewed in this unit. The unit covers the service desk and how it contributes to OSA. Unit 9 talks about various OSA functions and roles performed within OSA. This learning unit deals with how the service operation function of technical management, IT operation management, and application management contribute to OSA activities and practices. For each function, the roles are defined along with the objectives, scope, importance, policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques in relationship to OSA. Unit 10 is Technology Consideration and Implementation. This unit covers technology implementation as a part of implementing service management process capabilities. It also covers special technology functions and features that are related to OSA practice.
Let us quickly look at the basics of ITIL and understand service, types of services, service management, types of services provider, and suppliers. The Information Technology Infrastructure Library is a set of practices for IT service management that focuses on aligning IT services with the business needs. In its current form, ITIL is published in a series of 5 core publications, each of which covers an ITSM lifecycle stage. ITIL describes processes, procedures, tasks, and checklists that are not organization specific, used by an organization for establishing integration with the organization strategies, delivering value, and maintaining a minimum level of competency. It allows the organization to establish a baseline from which it can plan, implement, and measure. It is used to demonstrate compliance and to measure improvement. In the next slide, we will look at the definition of service. As per guidance by Cabinet Office, the definition of service is a means of delivering value to the customer by facilitating outcomes customer wants to achieve without the ownership of specific cost and risks. Services facilitates outcome by having a positive effect on activities, objects, and tasks to create conditions for better performance. As a result, the probability of desired outcomes is higher. Customer outcomes become the ultimate concern of business relationship managers. Instead, gathering of requirements, which is necessary but not sufficient. Requirements are generated for internal coordination and control only after customer outcomes are well understood. The service provider bears the specific cost and risk and is responsible of facilitating outcomes by the provision of services. Customers seek outcomes but do not wish to have accountability or ownership of all the associated costs and risks. Customer enjoys the outcome upon achieving value. In the next slide, we will learn about different types of services and how services categorize into different ways. Services can be discussed in terms of how they relate to one another and their customers, and can be classified as core, enabling, and enhancing services. Core services deliver the basic outcomes desired by one or more customers. They represent the value that the customer wants and for which they are willing to pay. Core services anchor the value proposition for the customer and provide the basis for the continued utilization and satisfaction. For example, you are an IT service company and you are providing email services to a customer. They will become the core services for the customer. The enabling services are that services which are needed in order for a core service to be delivered. Enabling services may or may not be visible to the customer, but the customer does not perceive them as services in their own right. They are basic factors which enable the customer to receive the real service, which here is the core service. In this example, storage, email client, connectivity will become factors which will make your email service available. Storage, email client, connectivity contribute together to form your email services, and hence they are known as enabling services. In layman's term, enabling services can be described as services which help you deliver the core service. Then we have the third type, which is enhancing services. Enhancing services are those services which are needed to deliver a core service to make it more exciting or enticing to the customer. Enhancing services are not essential to the delivery of core service and are added to a core service as excitement factors, which will encourage customers to use the core service more or to choose the core service provided by one company over those of its competitors.
In the next slide, we will quickly look at what is service management and what is IT service management. Service management is a set of specialized organizational capabilities for providing value to customers in the form of services. Organizational capabilities are shaped by the challenges they are expected to overcome. Service management is more than just a set of capabilities. It is also a professional practice supported by an extensive body of knowledge, experience, and skills. A global community of individuals and organizations in the public and private sectors fosters its growth and maturity. Formal schemes exist for the education, training, and certification of practicing organizations, and individuals influence its quality. Industry, best practices, academic research, and formal standards contribute and draw from its intellectual capital. Information technology service management, the implementation of management of quality IT services that meets the needs of the business. IT service management is performed by IT service providers through an appropriate mix of people, process, and information technology. The origins of service management are in traditional service businesses such as airlines, banks, hotels, and phone companies. Its practice has grown with the adoption by IT organization of a service-oriented approach to managing IT applications, infrastructure, and processes. Solutions to business problems and support for business models, strategies, and operations are increasingly in the form of services. The popularity of shared services and outsourcing has contributed to the increase in the number of organizations that behave as service providers, including internal IT organizations. This in turn has strengthened the practice of service management while at the same time imposed greater challenges. Information technology is a commonly used term that changes meaning depending on the different perspectives that a business organization or people may have of it. A key challenge is to recognize and balance these perspectives when communicating the value of IT service management and understanding the context for how the business sees the RT organization. In the next slide, we will look at types or categories of service providers. An organization supplying services to one or more internal customers or external customers is known as a service provider. Service provider is often used as a short form for IT service provider.
Every IT organization should act as a service provider, using the principles of service management to ensure that they deliver the outcome required by their customers. IT service management must be carried out effectively and efficiently. Managing IT from the business perspective enables organizational high performance and value creation. There are three main types of service providers. While most aspects of service management apply equally to all types of service provider, other aspects such as customer, contracts, competition, market spaces, revenue, and strategy take on different meanings depending on the specific type. Internal service provider. An internal service provider that is embedded within a business unit. There may be several types of service provider within an organization. A shared services unit. It is an internal service provider that provides shared IT services to more than one business unit. Then we have external service provider. So, an external service provider is that one provides IT services to external customers who are external to the organization. IT service management concepts are often described in the context of only one of these types and as if only one type of IT service provider exists or is used by a given organization. In reality, most organizations have a combination of IT service providers. In a single organization, it is possible that some IT units are dedicated to a single business unit. Others provide shared services, and yet others have been outsourced or depending on external service providers. Many IT organizations who traditionally provide services to internal customers find that they are dealing directly with external users because of the online services that they provide. In the next slide, we will discuss about suppliers who play an integral part in delivering a particular service and thereby delivering value to the customer. The third party is responsible for supplying goods or services that are required to deliver IT services. Examples of suppliers include commodity hardware and software vendors, network and telecom providers, and outsourcing organizations. As stated earlier, suppliers play an important role in providing services and thereby delivering value to the customer. This marks the end of our introductory module. Let us quickly recap everything we did. In this module, we studied the objective of this module, understood ITIL and ITIL Intermediate. We looked at what is service capability and service life cycle. We also looked at what was the objective of OSA. We understood basics of ITIL in terms of service management, service, categories of services, service providers, and suppliers. We also studied the exam pattern and eligibility criteria for Operational Support and Analysis Certificate exam. Next, we will look at the introduction of OSA module.